Hello out there in video land. Let's just get our radio guys going. Hello, radio guys. Hey, what a beautiful day out there today. Thank you for tuning in to Your City, Your Voice. My name is Paul K. Lemire. This is Your City, Your Voice from 4680Q Radio in downtown Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada. Yeah, thank you for tuning in, everybody. I appreciate that. What a day out there today. Wowza. It's set to go to 65 degrees today. Everything's looking good. How about that? And then it's going to go back down to 32 tomorrow. It's the bipolar effect of spring in Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada. Should have had a drink of water before I got on. Well, the good thing is all that rain yesterday and everything is going to make your lawn green. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. It's going to be green. But we're going to get into more seasonable weather for the next couple weeks, and that's fine with me. But you can tell, no hat, over 50. That's the standard. When you see I don't have a hat on, it's over 50, and you got to love it. You got to love it. We are blessed in Niagara Falls because we don't get any really, really bad weather. We get a few months of winter, and that's about it other than that. So anyway, over to my sponsors before we get this show going full blast here on 4680Q Radio. And I'm going to mention all my sponsors. Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue, and Hamel Machine Company. We look outside, we see this weather, and we go, summer's coming. We can feel it. You can feel that warmth in your bones. You just know it. You just know it. Yesterday was such a miserable day. It was an October day, kind of like half raining and everything else. It was just a miserable day, but look at how nice it is today. You got to get your car into Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop. Be proactive. Ken Hunter is going to take your car, and he's going to give it his free spring inspection, which means he's going to go through it all. He's going to make sure all systems are go. He's going to throw it on his scanner, his diagnostic equipment, and he's going to repair any error codes. Why is it when I get in here, I get all choked up? He's going to go through any error codes, make sure they're right, fix them for you, and get you out of there happy as a lark and your car running great for the summer so you don't have any breakdowns. And you're going to be a happy camper. And that's what you want. You want to be proactive, not reactive when you get to hitting the road for the summer. Now, he also has a full body shop. If you get in a wreck, you can take your car there. And what he's going to do is take it in wreck and send it out in showroom condition. You're going to be happy. Your car's going to be happy. I'm going to be happy. Support our sponsors because they support the show. And they also support the city. They're big doers in the city. They do things in the city for the city. They're big community people. Also, while you're at it, hit the subscribe button down below. It's either here or here. And subscribe to the channel. It costs you absolutely nothing. You get a notification when I drop another video, which is great. You can watch the video. And then, for those of you who are listening live, if you ever can't listen live, you can go to YouTube and see the video every afternoon at around 3 o'clock. It's on YouTube, so you can watch it if you miss it. So subscribe to the channel. Costs nothing. Gives you notifications, and it helps the algorithm get the show out to more people. And we want more people. We have elections coming up. You got to get this show to more people. It's a conservative show, right? So that's what we run on. And there's not a lot of conservative shows in this area. I'll tell you, most of the mainstream media is very liberal. You don't get the conservative perspective except from Your City, Your Voice with Paul K. Lemire. Anyway, let's talk about some Facebook funnies. Well, I had a nice chat with Elon Musk the other morning. Or at least the guy says he's the guy or the woman. I don't know who's behind the keyboard, right? We don't know. They said they were Elon Musk. And I invited him to come on the show. and talk about Doge, SpaceX, and anything else he wants to talk about. Um, Imagine if I get him in the studio here. Can you imagine that? Wouldn't that be nice? I'm a bit skeptical, though. I'm a bit skeptical about this one. Um, I also had a Nigerian prince that wanted to give me $20 million, and I was skeptical about that too. Stranger things have happened, no? But yeah, I doubt very much. But I had a nice conversation with Elon Musk. When I told him I doubted he was Elon Musk, he goes, "I don't blame you for being skeptical. I mean, but I'm on here to discuss things with interested people." Oh yeah, I'm telling you, it's a never-ending source of wackiness. One viewer comment didn't have a lot of viewer comments. I guess everybody's agreeing with me. I guess they don't have anything to say. They're watching the video. People are watching the video, but they just don't have a lot to say, or they have no comments. They agree with me, I guess. But the Iceman 69 says they forgot to add 30% extra for benefits, which isn't included in those totals. So we were talking about the compensation for these, whether it's city councilors or MPs or MPPs, any politicians. They give you the number, but they don't give you the number with benefits and everything else in the whole package. So, for example, I think our Mayor Jim makes about 124,000 and change, close to 125, I think. And then I think when you see his total compensation, when they add the benefits and all the other expenses and everything else on, it's around $175,000 a year. That's what John's talking about, the Iceman. Great point. And all those numbers I was talking about were pay raises for MPs without that added on, the extra benefits, health benefits, and pensions and everything else. There you go. You're right, John. Thanks for the comment. I appreciate it. And I don't know. I might have said that. I'm not sure. Maybe I didn't. If I said it, maybe John wouldn't comment, right? So I would imagine I didn't say it. I'd have to watch the video again. In a well-deserved tribute to a local legend, Rick Rose, he was mentioned in memoriam at the Juno Awards on March 30th. Well, Rick is well known in the music world. Rick was the owner of 4680Q Radio, of course, right here. He was the guy who owned this. Pat Porter has taken it over since because Rick passed away last summer. I think it was July 14th he passed on. Coming up on a year, believe it or not, already. But he left his legend and his work behind for all to enjoy. Writer, producer, musician, and teacher, Rick was one of a kind, and I miss the guy every day, to be honest with you. I miss the guy. I always come in the door here, and I look to my left because Rick would be sitting in that one chair there. It's still there, the chair. Nobody sits in it. It's just there. Tribute. And he was always in that chair. And we sat and talked for hours about all kinds of different things. And he encouraged everybody, whoever did a show on 4680Q, and got me into it. So, I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, we miss Rick, and it was great to see the Junos paying tribute to him. That was really nice. And all I can say is, Ricardo, go Habs go, and we'll see you on the other side, my friend. Speaking of tributes to Rick, Niagara Falls is dedicating a part of Queen Street to Rick Rose on June 7th this year. As part of the ceremony, 4680Q Radio is going to make it a day with live bands at Taps because they're dedicating the part of the road straight across from Taps between Buckley Avenue and St. Lawrence Avenue to Rick. I don't know if they're going to call it Rick Rose Way or exactly what they're going to call it, but they're dedicating part of Queen Street to him because he was such a force downtown here. He was always downtown. And when they needed anything, Rick was right there to help them out. Sound systems, bands, whatever they needed. Rick was a very giving person. So they're going to honor him on June 7th, and the actual award ceremony will be at 6:30. But we're going to, 4680Q is going to make a day of it. So We're going to start off in the afternoon with some live bands. We're going to have a giveaway for a one-of-a-kind guitar. It's being custom built, and we're going to raffle that off. So the value on that guitar is around $5,000. It's a player, and it's beautiful. And we're selling tickets for $20 a ticket. So when we get those tickets ready and all that, we'll be looking for people who are interested. If you win this, it's one of a kind, never to be produced again, one of one, and it's going to be something to whoever wins it. It's going to be something for a $20 ticket with a limited number of tickets, of course, so that we're trying to raise money for the Rick Rose Foundation. So it's going to be a day to remember, and it's going to be a day to pay tribute to a great human being and an artist. Stay tuned for more details. We'll release more details as we go, but be aware that we're going to have this, and you're all invited. The whole city's invited. Whoever wants to come out, come on out and have a good time. Like I say, we're going to be out in the TAPS parking lot celebrating this, and it's going to be a big day. Okay, so on Tuesday, it was April Fool's Day, of course. We all know that. We saw PP, Pierre Polivier, promises come to fruition as plagiarist Art Carney, Norton, dropped the carbon tax off gas. Way to go. Thank you, PP. You were the guy that wanted to axe the tax, and these other plagiarists stole your idea and put it in play. But the bottom line is, we know who wanted to do it. We know who stole the idea from you. And either way, we're getting money off our gas. Everybody's got to be happy about that. You got to be happy out there. It's a good thing for most cities, but the prices seemed high to me in Niagara Falls after it happened. I saw it at $139.9, down from like $154, but other places were reporting $118.9 a liter. And I think that was in Welland. Somebody said in Welland it was $118.9 for a while. I think it went back up to about $134 now. But wow, when were the last time gas prices that low? Even in the 120s or 130s. Now I think saw somebody said it was 122 at the Petrocan on Thorold Stone Road. So I don't know how those prices are holding up. I haven't looked. I haven't needed gas, to be honest with you, so I haven't been there. And but I will be looking and seeing what's going on with it. But how nice is that to get a break at the pumps? How nice is that? But you know what? Fame is fleeting, and low gas prices are fleeting as well, because the oil companies are going, wait a minute. This is a great opportunity to stick our hands in people's pockets. So what are we going to do? Well, we're going to say we're raising gas prices because we have to take into account the switch from winter gas to summer gas. They got gas all year, winter and summer. So, are they playing a fast one on us here? Are they pulling a trick on us? Winter gas and summer gas. I mean, if there's an excuse to pick your pocket, they're going to. We found that out during COVID. They were just raising prices for what? For no reason at all, just because artificial shortages and everything else. But you know what? Who knows? Who knows? These government watchdog groups and that are funded by big oil and big gas. Mad Mothers Against Drunk Driving are funded by the liquor board. There's all kinds of stories in the naked city here. I mean, somebody should be looking at the oil companies. Doge on oil, but Canadians always get ripped off, and they don't care. They don't care. Now, the price of gas in the U.S., where there's no insidious carbon tax to screw everybody, it's been dropping steadily since Trump came in on January 20th. And the average price per gallon in the U.S. is about $3.20 across the country, but many places are below $2, $3. Down to $2.60, $2.50, and that's in most red states. Blue states are heavily taxed on gas, and even though they don't have a carbon tax per se, they are putting taxes on there to prevent the earth from having a climate change problem as they spray all over the place. So the red states, places like Mississippi, Oklahoma, Texas, and Kentucky, are all sitting at 270 or less, which is about 69 cents a liter US, or a $1.04 a liter Canadian. So yeah, they're getting a pretty good discount. We have to see how it all plays out as Art Carney and the oil companies collude to get prices back up to the $1.50 mark, even without the carbon tax. You just know it's going to happen, don't you? And we're not getting away from this. They took 17.6 off or whatever. Guess what? They're going to somehow they're getting this money back. They're not just gonna they're gonna let you have it and be happy. No, they're going to get the money back. Guaranteed they're going to get the money back. They always do. It never fails. There'll be some excuse. I don't know. There was a water spout in the Gulf of America, and one of the oil rigs are offline now, and they got up the price. Who knows? All kinds of excuses. But seeing how we saved some bucks on gas Tuesday, let's look at what Tuesday cost us taxpayers. Yeah, we saved 17.6 cents on a liter of gas. But what did we actually pay? What taxes came down? Well, let's start with the MP salaries, which went from $203,100 to $209,800, giving them a nice $6,700 a year raise, or about a 3.5% increase. Inflationary increase. Did I get 3.5% on my pensions? No. Did anybody out there in the public sector jobs get a 3.5% increase? Inflationary increase? Probably not. I mean, pensions and that, like the public service unions, they got double that. The MPs got ripped off according to government jobs because those guys all got 7 or 8% probably. But it's funny that our city council, they like to call anything around 4% an inflationary raise. And then the MPs get a 3.5%. It seems to be rolling through government. This 3.54% is inflationary. So with 343 MPs getting that raise, that's a cool 2.3 million out of taxpayer dollars. Yep, that's taxpayer money. That's us. We're paying for it. 2.3 million. So they can go from 203,000, which I guess it isn't enough, 203,000 bucks a year, to 2009, 800. So almost 210,000. Yeah, so that extra 6,700 bucks, that's like 500 a month, right? Yeah, 520 a month. Who got $520 a month raise? MPs did. And that doesn't include any benefits or perks like John Ringo Beam, the Iceman 69 said. And it also doesn't include these other people in government who got these nice raises. And you can see them all on the sunshine list if you look. Cabinet ministers, they're going to get a $3,100 raise. Prime Minister is going to get the same $6,700 as the MPs. That's sending him to $419,600 a year. Nice paycheck. The leader of the opposition will get an extra $99,900 on top of their MP salary. That's what they get. And leaders of other recognized parties, like the ones that aren't in power and they're not opposition, will get increases of $2,200 from, they're going to go from $68,600 to $70,800 on top of their MP salaries, of course, right? That's on top of their MP salaries for being the leader of a recognized party. And recognized party have to have, I guess they have to have party status. They just have to have party status. And that's on top of their MP salaries that they had before they became the opposition leader. Senators will also see the increase from 178,100 to 184,800, a $6,700 raise. So if you're a senator, you've been appointed to the Senate in Canada, you get a nice little chunk of money. Now that's probably a bit more than 3.5%. I don't know. I don't know what it all adds up to. I can't tell you what it all adds up to, but I know one thing: it's coming out of your pocket. It's coming out of my pocket. We always pay the tab. That's the way it is. That's the way it is. Now, wisely, and I've got to talk about this after I mention my second sponsor, Niagara's dropping that hokey elbows up cry. Let's talk about that in a minute. But first, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue. You got to go get a pizza. You want a pizza. You know you want a pizza, and you want a pizza that's consistent and done right. That's why you go to Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue. My buddy Gary Wilkins posted a great picture of a tray of pizza he got yesterday from it, and it looked fabulous. And that's what they do. They do a fabulous job with it. And on Wednesdays, that's their special, $19.95 for a pizza with 3 items. Can't beat that. You can't beat that. A tray of pizza with 3 items for $19.95, I believe it was. He posted it on Facebook on Restaurant Reviews Niagara. It looked fantastic. But they're not one-trick pony. They have fantastic wings. They have fantastic poutine, steak and cheese poutine, panzerotti. You name it, they've got a full menu to make you happy. If you don't like pizza, and I don't know anybody who don't, but there probably is somebody out there, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You can get something else. They have all kinds, fries, poutine, you name it, they got it. You got to look at their menu. It's 3 pages. Can't go wrong. Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue. You dial 905-374-2222 or or you go online at petespizzacvictoria.ca. You can order right online. And they also have Skip and Dash and all that other stuff. So order your pizza today. You know I love a good pizza. I always talk about it, and I'm sure you do too. Pete's Pizza, Victoria Avenue. You've tried the rest, now try the best. I think Oscar used to say that at the Volcano years ago. So Niagara is dropping the hokey elbows up cry and adopting an open arms policy. Now I come to you with open arms. Yeah, well, that's smart. I didn't get that elbows up anyway. I mean, why your elbows up? What the heck? That's crazy. But open arms policy makes sense. Why alienate a market that makes up 20% of the tourists that visit Niagara every year? Why do you want to oil them up, alienate them? Alienate them. Why do you want to do that by having your chip on your shoulder with your elbows up? Doesn't even make sense. And despite the tariff wars Canadian political leaders want to wage, tourist operators, well, they don't want anything to do with it. They expect a very busy tourist season for 2025. Niagara Falls tourism president, what's her name? Janice something, I can't remember. Said she isn't talking the open arms talk. No way. She's not going, or sorry, the elbows up talk. She's not going with that. She's going the open arms talk. And she's not just talking the open arms talk. She's walking the open arms walk by dedicating 40% of the marketing campaign for the summer to an American audience. So they're focusing their campaign for the summer, their advertising campaign on the U.S. market, which makes sense because the U.S. market is 25% of our market here, and we want them to continue coming over, even though the rhetoric coming out of Canada says they don't like Americans. We don't want Americans. Screw Trump, Orange Man bad. Yeah, that's not the way we feel. That's a few left-wing loonies that talk like that. Most Canadians like Americans. We grew up with Americans. Most of the people, a lot of people married Americans. They worked over in America. And a lot of them have dual citizenship, as a matter of fact. So we grew up loving Americans, and we still do. I always did, to the point where people thought I was from over there. But I've spent a lot of time in the United States with people. She figures that if Canadians give them their open arms policy, it's going to make Canada their preferred travel destination this summer for going trips to other places to come to Canada. And you know what? With the Canadian peso looming large and they can get $1.50 for every dollar they plunk on the table, you can't blame Americans for wanting to come over here and spend their money. Now, it bodes well for rubber tire trips from Canada too, because a lot of Canadians have they're up in arms. They do have their elbows up, and they're not going to the States. They said, "I am not going to the States. No way, no way." After they tried to ruin Canada with their tariffs, please. But that's what they say. And guess what? We get a double shot. Mayor Jim hits the nail on the head. Oh, the bikes are out already. There you go. As he hit the nail on the head when he called this a have your cake and eat it too moment for Niagara Falls. As Canadians stay home, they stay in Canada, they don't want to go to the evil United States, and Americans take advantage of the huge exchange rate difference. So we have a double header coming in this summer. Have your cake and eat it too, like Mayor Jim says. And that low dollar has always been a factor. It always has been, always will be, to get Americans to come over that border. So we're looking for a big tourist season, and I like that open arms concept and putting 40% of the advertising revenue into the rubber tire states. I mean, within 6 hours of Niagara Falls, it's 4 to 6 hour drive. You've got, I don't know, 30 or 40 million people. I mean, you're close to New York City, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Detroit, you name it. We're close to a lot of big United States cities, and they love to see our friendly faces, friendly Canada, Niagara Falls especially. So that's what we're looking for this summer, a good tourist season, and I hope it transpires because, when they're healthy, we're all healthy. Thanks to Ray Spiteri of the Review for the awesome article in the Review about this. Go to the Review and read that. And I always follow the Review. They have some great articles in there by John Law and Allison Langley and Ray Spiteri and Bill Sladchuk. And there's a whack of them who contribute articles to the Review. And it's good to have people talking about the city and what's going on. Yeah, it's funny. And I read this. Canada, for some bizarre reason, I don't know why, they're bound and determined to cancel the F-35 contract. And, yesterday wasn't that bad. There's not going to be any more new tariffs other than the ones that Trump already put on. He's holding off on all that, and most of the other countries he's going to throw a tariff on. It's half of the tariff they have already. And the big tariffs that we have on things, everybody's saying that's a lie. He's lying. Trump's lying, but he's not lying. They're there. And we'll talk about that a little later. But right now, I don't know why they want to cancel this F-35 order. It's not like we don't need them. Canada doesn't have any airplanes. They have F-18 Hornets that are 100 years old. And I think it's going to cost a bundle for us to cancel that contract. You can't order, 88 airplanes and then just call up and say, you know what, Trump's being mean to us, so we're canceling it. No, there's always a price to pay. And they're going to order the planes from elsewhere. And they're taking these tariffs hard, huh? So what are they going to replace the canceled F-35s with? Well, let me tell you. 32 F-35s. I thought they were canceling the order. They probably had to commit to at least 32 of the 88 to save the cancellation fee, I would imagine. Somehow there's a cutoff that if you order 32, we won't charge a cancellation fee. So they're going to do that at least 32 F-35s. Then they're going to get 16 JAS 39 Gripens from Saab, a Swedish manufacturer. Then they're going to get 12 Eurofighters from a consortium of Airbus, which includes Airbus, BAE Systems, and Leonardo. Then they're going to get 12 Rafale fighters from the French company Dassault Aviation. And they're ordering 12 Q400 aircraft from Bombardier de Havilland in Canada. I'm not sure what these are for, since they're definitely not fighter jets. I don't know. They're like Dash 8s, those ones they use for short hops, propellers on them. I don't know what they're going to use them for, transport or tankers. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to use those for, but they're going to order them too. That's 12, 24, 36, 52, and 32 is 84, and there's four more they haven't mentioned yet. They're missing four. Maybe they'll just fill it in with more F-35s that they're not going to order. Who knows? But apparently, and this is something that I've been saying for a couple years now, all these aircraft will be licensed and built in the old Ford Windstar plant in Oakville. Looky here, looky here. How about that? Now, that's something that I've been saying for a long time now. I'm saying, listen, instead of spending billions to buy these planes from the United States, the F-35s, why don't Canada start up its aviation industry again? Open these de Havilland plants. Bombardier, we've spent, I don't know how much money we've spent on Bombardier over the years. Come on. We bailed them out more times than we've bailed GM, Ford, Stellantis, all of them out. But now it's time for them to start building our own planes, hire people, get the factories going. We have the skill, we have the knowledge. Let's build our own. Why go out of the country to get it? Let's put Canadians to work and build our own. So somebody listen, because they're going to be built at the old Ford Windstar plant in Oakville. Something I've been really, really up on, and I think they should build ships here too. You want warships, destroyers, frigates, whatever you need. Let's build them here. They've just recommissioned a submarine. There was one that was so bad it had to be sent in for I think it's like I don't know, like a whack of money. I wouldn't be more than maybe $750 million repairs to retrofit it and bring it up to snuff. Did I read that right? Something like that. But that's finally done, and they're bringing. It was 750 million. I'm pretty sure we spent that to refurbish it and get it going again. We can build our own subs. We can build everything here. Canada's got the ports. We got the docks. We got the dry docks. We got the shipbuilders. We got the aviation people. Come on, put our people to work and build our own stuff. We don't have to depend on anybody else. Isn't that what all these political leaders are saying? Can't depend on the United States anymore. We're going to Europe. Well, then we got to depend on Europe. Well, we're going to Australia. Well, then we got to depend on them. Let's just build them here. Pump up our economy for a change. So once we build it, I mean, we can also put it on the world markets and sell it. So we can make money selling them as well. So it's all good. It's all good. But it's good to see that they are going to build them in Canada. Who knows? It could be to avoid tariffs from everybody else. I don't know. But they're going to build them here, which is good. I mean, they're going to be under license and supervision, I'm sure, by the big shots out there. So, yeah, that's good news. Good news for Canada. Good news for good paying jobs around here. So, April 2nd was designated Liberation Day in the U.S., the day where President Trump evened the trading score with countries all over the world. If you saw the announcements, it was pretty neat, right in the Rose Garden talking about this, including Canada and Mexico, of course. The repercussion of trade tariffs are being felt everywhere. So he's leveling the playing field. And the goal of the tariffs is to even the trade numbers between the U.S. and other countries, with manufacturers being encouraged to move their operations to the U.S. for at least open a U.S. subsidiary, which can produce goods for American consumers on U.S. soil. And of course, there would be no tariff for that. So It's working because a whack of companies has said they're going to move. They're going to move the plants into the United States, including Honda and Toyota and chip manufacturers. Apple's going to build a $500 billion plant. I think was it Honda or Honda? I think they're going to drop down 20 billion and another 5 billion. No, it's Hyundai. 20 billion, and they're going to build a $5 million steel plant to make steel for their cars. So it's happening. It's working already over the states. Close to $5 trillion worth has come in to for future projects. So that's fantastic. In a lot of countries, because of these tariffs, have said, listen, rather than you throwing tariffs on us, upping our tariffs by 50% up most countries, why don't we just do this? We'll drop our tariffs if you drop yours. Yeah, it's one of those, you show me yours and I'll show you mine. So let's all drop tariffs, no tariffs, and just trade. And so I think a lot of countries are going to go that way. I'm going to tell you which ones they are later on. But different countries are reacting in different ways. In Canada, there's a lot of threats coming out of Ottawa and Queen's Park, but we're really in an HODL situation, hold on for dear life situation, seeing as how an election is imminent. I mean, April 28th, we're having one. And I don't think there's going to be anything more really big done until after the election. And we'll see what happens with the existing tariffs on steel and aluminum once that election is over. Of course, because everybody's saying they're going to deal with the U.S., but we'll see how they're going to deal with them. The last I heard, and not sure if this is true or not, is that Canada will drop all tariffs on U.S. goods coming into Canada if America will do the same. I saw this, and I don't know if it's true or not, but to me, that would make common sense. Tariffs drop both ways. Come on, let's just trade and have a ball and we'll all make money. And that's the deal that I really have been waiting for, is that we just even out the playing field, finally start some kind of economic union, a strong union of both countries where goods and services can flow back and forth without fees, without tariffs. And in time, once we get going here, we can have a common currency without the need for borders, giving Canadian businesses unfettered access to the huge American market, without giving up Canada's sovereignty that everybody is so worried about in Canada. I mean, it's a dream, this economic union where we just trade and all businesses in Canada have access to the United States market without fees, without tariffs. Go over there, open a subsidiary, go over there, sell your product, bring it across the border, just send trucks with stuff. I think that'd be great. I think Canadian businesses will love having access to that market without any kind of conditions on it. I think it's a pipe dream, but I think it's a dream that may come true. But of course, as usual, we need the right leader to make it happen. I'm thinking of this when I think of the movie Casablanca. Rick, remember Rick, the owner of Rick's Cafe Americain, in the movie Casablanca? And the very end of it, he gets Ingrid Bergman and her thing. What's his name there? Laszlo and what was her name? I can't remember. But he said to Captain Louis Renaud of the Vichy police there at the end of the movie, he says, "Louis, I think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship." And I'm going, that's what this could be the beginning of. This could be the beginning of a beautiful friendship that's going to benefit both countries. Here's looking at you, kid. Come on, let's get it going. Let's not pound our chest and get going. Let's try to work with these guys and make it so that it's all even and everybody has a shot to make money. That's what it's all about at the end of the day. The beginning of a beautiful friendship. Of course, with Canadian politicians, common sense is seldom common. And the elbow up crap and the idiotic chest pounding, we're still running deep with Pierre Poilievre, and that concerns me. said yesterday that Canada should retaliate immediately with targeted counter tariffs. Targeted counter tariffs. So not just blanket tariffs on everything, just targeted, which is a little bit calmer than just hammering them with all these tariffs. He wanted to do a blanket dollar for dollar percentage, right? This is a little calmer approach, targeting certain parts of it. PP spoke of a temporary loan program for businesses directly affected by the tariffs. Please don't do that. Here we go again. Haven't they learned anything from COVID where they were giving money away like drunken sailors? I mean, that's a big no for me. Do not loan anybody anything. Do not give the money out. We lost billions of dollars from the Trudeau scheme during COVID, with people taking advantage of gift programs and never paying the damn money back. You know how many people grabbed money and they never paid it back? Lots. And the government wasn't even able to figure out who the hell they were or how to track them down. So finally, they just gave up and said, you know what? Yeah, forget about it. So my advice to him is don't do it. Don't let people off scot free. Don't give them money. Let them figure it out. Or even better, make a deal where they can thrive and that kind of thing rather than just giving money out. And they say they're going to be loans or whatever. They're not going to be loans. You'll never figure it out. We'll never get it back. That's what happens. Better way, get your butt down to Washington and sit down with Trump and quit wasting tax dollars on crazy programs. I mean, a conservative doesn't do that. Now, Carney, who's a tax and spend specialist, at least he's not talking a giveaway program from what I've seen. I looked around to see if he is coming up with anything like that. I haven't seen it. He says he will immediately head to Washington to begin comprehensive negotiations about a new economic and security relationship with the U.S. So that's the way you should be doing it. But he does say he will defer taxes for businesses affected and also expedite affected workers to access any government support programs already available. Okay. That's better than giving it away, if you ask me. So, PP, I don't know. I don't understand what you're doing, but that doesn't sound like that great of a deal to me. But the one thing that Carney said that I don't agree with, well, there's a lot that he says I don't agree with, but this thing, he says that all this is through no fault of our own. That's total BS. Art Carney, Norton, that's BS. Of course, it's the fault of it's the fault of Canada. Like whenever anything goes wrong in Canada, it's Orange Man bad. Orange Man bad, Orange Man bad. Whenever anything goes wrong. I mean, you've had 10 years and you've screwed this whole thing up, your party. Trudeau, your buddy. And it's probably been being screwed up since World War II by people like Pierre Trudeau. I mean, really, Canadians have been abusing the United States for years. Since the end of World War II, if you want to get down to it. I mean, so finally somebody steps up and says, hey, wait a minute. It's $200 billion trade deficit going on here. Why are we supporting Canada? We're broke. We're $35 trillion in debt. We can't, our taxes that we take in don't even pay the interest on the debt. And we're giving money away? Well, it's got to end. It's got to end. So don't blame Orange Man bad. It's you. And the United States finally waking up and saying, hey, we got to straighten this out. So it's the politicians who have let Canada become dependent on everyone, but Canadians. We should be depending on Canadians, on Canada, and not everybody else. And that's why it bugs me when they say they're going to get this from there, this from there, this from there, instead of building it right in our country. Let's build it here. Let's put people to work. We found out with COVID that we didn't have vaccines. Although 90% of the people took them, but I wish they'd never had any. Save some people. But they didn't have vaccines. They didn't have masks. They didn't have respirators, all this other stuff. Like we got to learn that we got to build our own pharmaceuticals. Whatever we're building, we got to build our own. We can't depend on China and other countries, whether it's China, United States, Taiwan, anywhere else. We got to depend on Canadians working, producing, and for Canada. I mean, we basically lost a lot of manufacturing in Canada, and it's all gone to China, most of it. And they like to boil the tariff situation down to one thing: Orange Man bad. But seriously, the biggest enemy of Canada lives within its borders, and that's weak governments elected by weak people looking to ride the coattails of their rich American cousins to the south. But that time, that's done. Carney said it. It's done. It's over. We're facing a new world now. This is huge. The announcements by Trump on Tuesday. No, Wednesday. It was yesterday because he didn't want to do it on April Fool's Day. So it was yesterday he had that press conference at the Rose Garden. I mean, we've got to really grow up as a country and quit blaming Trump and start taking control of our own country and our manufacturing and everything else, and correct the imbalance. Because that's what Trump's doing, correcting the imbalance to keep his promise to the American people to make America great again. We got to make Canada great again. That's not Trump's mandate. He wasn't elected to make Canada great again. He was elected to make America great again. Now, the next guy I'm going to talk about is Jimmy Dollywall. And I'm going to do that after talking about my third sponsor, Hamel Machine Company. And, I talk about every day I get on here about Hamel Machine Company being around since 1948. And I say I'm going to go to their website and look up some of the things that they do. We know they do fabricating. We know that these machine shops are so important to industry in the area because when they need something fixed, they can't wait to order parts. Production time shut down is money. They need their production up and running, so they bring a part to Hamel that's broken, and Hamel can reverse engineer it or fix it, one or the other, and they get them back online ASAP, which is what they want. But Hamel, I looked on their website, and they also do lathing, fabricating, computer design. If they can't fix your part, they're going to engineer it. They're going to make it. They're going to reverse engineer it. They do rebuilds and overhauls on equipment, pumps, that kind of thing, in-house. In-house, they do that. And they also do custom parts, reverse engineering, like I said, from a sample. So you bring them whatever it is that's broken, they can reverse engineer it and make you a brand new one. They really do it all. They have water jet cutters. They have 3D printers. So you bring them a nylon plastic part, they can fix that as well. They can build a new one for you. They have designers, engineers, electrical engineers, IT people. It's amazing the scope of the work they do for big industry, big business, or for homeowners like us who, shear a pin on our lawnmower and we need it fixed. We need it done. We take it to Hamel. They take it in and they fix it, return it to you, just like new. That's what the city does. That's what the region does. Hamel Machine Company. Go to hamelmachine.ca and you're going to see some of the tremendous work they do and find out all about them and what they offer to their clients. Hamel Machine Company, support our sponsors because they support you, and we thank Hamel Machine for supporting this show. Okay, so Jimmy Dollywall. He doesn't want to be left out of the scene here because he's being left out big time. It's going to be lucky if he gets party status and wins his own riding. So what's he doing? Now he wants to axe the GST tax. That's right. He's going to axe the GST tax, not just the carbon tax, on essential goods. Take the GST right off. And you know what? That was fun when they did it until February 14th. I'd love going to places, and if it was $25, here's $25. No more tax. I loved it. It was beautiful. Going for dinner, 99 bucks, no tax. Wasn't 120, it was 199 the way it was advertised. But, I don't get these guys, these politicians. They're stepping up to the plate, telling us how they're going to get rid of all these taxes. Where the hell have they been for the last 50 years? All of a sudden, these taxes that were so critical that they couldn't take them off, now they can go. Your carbon tax, we don't need that anymore. Okay, where's our trillions of dollars that we've given you since it came on to everything? Where's our money? You don't need it now. What would you need it for before? You haven't cleaned anything up. Canada is one of the cleanest countries as it is. It's China and India and these countries that are polluting everything, and they don't have to do anything in 2050. So why even charge this all these years? So now they're coming out and then take all this stuff off. And Jimmy Dollywall, who said he never was going to get rid of the carbon tax, but yeah, now he wants to get rid of that too. So he's dropping into the abyss with his party, and he's got to do something. So now he breaks all the rules that he was. I mean, he could have brought the government down over the carbon tax 3 times. PP wanted to bring them down, asking them to cancel. They wouldn't. Jimmy Dollywall, Jagmeet Singh wouldn't do it. Now all of a sudden he's got a you-know-what on to do it. And that's because there's an election and his party's going to be out of the picture. That's what's going to happen. It's unbelievable that they make these promises and they've been ripping us off all this time. Now they're telling us we don't need it. And they've been burning us all this time. And people still vote for them. It's theft. How can they promise to drop them when they kept them on for so long? I remember when Chrétien tried to drop it? Yeah, he was going to drop the GST. He's going to abolish the GST, he said, when he ran for election. But once he got elected, you know what he did? He did Stugotz. That's what he did. He couldn't. And you know why he couldn't? Because the revenue couldn't be replaced. It was a ton of money. Jimmy Dollywall, not to be confused with our mayor. Jimmy, go home. Leave us alone, please. Get the hell out of here. You're fired. In about 3 weeks, he's going to be fired. You're out of there, Jimmy. Get out of here. Your reign has ended. No more supporting anybody. Come on, Pierre. We got to get a majority and get these guys out of there. Everybody, get out and vote. Get out and vote. Don't split your vote. Vote for Pierre. He's our only option. I'm not a big fan of his. Not at all. But the writing's on the wall. We got to get rid of this liberal government, and we have to get rid of it with a majority, or it means nothing. Because in a year, a Jagmoosh and Art Carney, Norton, they're going to team up, tag team PP, and they're going to do a non-confidence and get rid of him. He might last a year, 18 months. That's it. Got to have a majority. That's the only way. That's about it for the election. We got a lot more weeks coming up. Chris Regis is coming in tomorrow, and he's going to give us his take on what's going on with this election. Chris is a big conservative, you know that, and he's going to be talking about PP, and we're going to be talking about all the other candidates, and we're going to be talking about these policies they brought down, and I'll be asking him questions, and we'll see what he has to say about it. He's pretty in tune with all this. I mean, PP went down to his restaurant and had lunch, the old Fire Hall restaurant with him. Yeah, he was down there he met him. So there you go. He talked to him for a while and been his ear for a while. So we'll see. We'll see what Chris Regis thinks tomorrow at noon on 4680U, your city, your voice. Okay, well, back down to the States here. Doge is alive and well in doing its job. That's right. Elon Musk is doing his job way better than anyone ever expected. But now I read that their leader, Elon Musk, is going to step aside at the end of May. Now, I know Tyro said that he's not stepping aside. So we'll see. But from everything I read, He was going to be in there till for 130 days. He can only stay in, and then he's got to be hired to continue to work for the government. And he's not going to take a job because he's got so much on his plate now. I don't know how he's had time to supervise Doge. He's going to step aside after the end of May. People think the pressure of Tesla burning, and everything that's going on is the reason he's stepping aside. But that's not the truth. That's not the truth. Like I say, anything over 130 days is a situation. He's got to be hired by the government, and he does not want that. He's got way too much going on. He's got a business to run. Tesla, He's got many businesses to run, and he's going to Mars. He wants to go to Mars, so he doesn't either want a job. All of his Doge boys, all the guys that he's got in there doing their job, will still be on the job. They're not going anywhere. They're going to stay there, and some of them will be hired by the government. And they're going to continue to look into government waste and make government more efficient. They're going to stop waste. That's what they're there for, and that's what they're doing. And if Elon's not there, they will still continue because that's the way Elon set it up. So after he's gone, and he knew he would be going, it's only a matter of time. He's not going to be there for 4 years, although he'll be around supervising and consulting if they need him. But he set it all up so they can do it themselves, going through department after department, saving trillions of dollars. So that's a good thing. And Tyro, you could be right. He's not stepping down, but that's what I read. And I didn't want to answer you on Facebook. I did see your comment. Don't worry about it, but I didn't want to answer you on Facebook. I wanted to answer you here on the show. So you can look it up and see what you find. And if you see anything different, please let me know in the comments on the video. Let me know and we'll talk about it. Tyro's great. She has a bunch of opinions on everything, and she's very knowledgeable. I wanted her to come on the show, but she really doesn't want to come on the show. I'd love to get a female conservative's perspective on all this. And she seems to be pretty with it and knowledgeable and smart. So I wish she would come on, but some people just don't like getting on and doing this. I don't blame them. You're exposed. You're out there, right? And people are wacky. So you got to watch. So like I said, mañana, Chris Regis is in the house. And we're going to be sitting here for an hour. We could probably sit here for 4 hours discussing all this. But for an hour, fearless predictions, just over 3 weeks away from the election. You have to tune in tomorrow because it's going to be a good show. Can't wait to get Chris in here. Monday is going to be Manic Monday, but it's also City Council Agenda Monday. My buddy Dave Wheeler will be in to go through the City Council agenda with me, I hope. He usually comes in. Sometimes he's involved in a lot of good things too. And sometimes he just can't make it, but he's pretty good. So I'm hoping he comes in. On Monday, Tuesday will be a review of Monday's review. If you don't pay attention to City Council, you probably won't know that things are added to the agenda, even the morning of the meeting. And the meeting is on Tuesday afternoon at 4:00 for the general public to watch on NiagaraFalls.ca or YouTube. So sometimes that agenda changes. So I do it on Monday so everybody has a chance to listen and watch the video so they know what's going on and they can pick out the important parts, because that's what we do. We tell you the things to watch and try to translate a lot of it for you to the best of our ability. We don't have all the information that the city councilors have, but from watching it, you can kind of get a flavor for which way they like to go with different planning matters and that kind of thing. So the wheels will be in, and then we'll take a final look on Tuesday morning, Trash Talk and Tuesday, as well as talk about everything that's happened on the weekend and that kind of thing. And of course, Wednesday will be a happy day or a sad day. Depends on what the Habs do in their games until we reach next Wednesday. So that's our Wednesday show, and then we're back into Straight Talk Thursday, and finally Friday. That's the way it goes. So Tomorrow, finally Friday, Chris Regis in the house. You got to tune in to be tuned in. And that's what I always say. You have to tune in to be tuned in. My name is Paul Calamiro. This is Your City, Your Voice. Thank you very much for tuning in today. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. You'll get notification when the show comes on. There's no charge to subscribe, but it does help the show get out there to more people, and that's what we want rolling into the April 28th election and the October 2026 election for City Council. You want to make sure you're involved in it. Get involved with the show. Get involved with the elections because it's your money they're spending, all these chumps. Don't forget to support our sponsor, Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue. Today is Wing Special Day, $9.69 for a pound of wings, and they make good wings. And Hamel Machine Company, since 1948, serving the Niagara community. Big or small, they do it all. Take your jobs to them. They're gonna fix you all up and make sure everything's right. See you tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody. Enjoy the weather. It's gorgeous out there. No jacket weather, even. Take care. God bless you all. Tomorrow, noon, Chris Regis. Be here. Bye bye. Bye bye.